They're titans of the comic book movie world. But are Kevin Feige and James Gunn destined to be friends or foes? DC shocked Hollywood when they announced that James Gunn and Peter Safran had been tapped to lead DC Studios, overseeing film, television, and animation for the comic book giant. Gunn, being one of the few people to have worked with both Marvel and DC, is revered by comic fans for his work on Guardians of the Galaxy, The Suicide Squad, and Peacemaker. In a joint statement, Gunn and Safran said, "We're honored to be the stewards of these DC characters we've loved since we were children. We're excited to invigorate the theatrical experience around the world as we tell some of the biggest, most beautiful, and grandest stories ever told." Hopefully, Gunn will be able to turn around the struggling DC Extended Universe, which appears to have been renamed the DC Universe. When Gunn posted the news to Twitter, he was inundated with congratulations from fans and celebrities alike. Fans naturally started making demands almost immediately, from Justice League sequels to Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn romances, and everything in between. But Gunn still has one foot in Marvel's door even as he makes his move to DC. So how does the head of the MCU, Kevin Feige, feel about the announcement? In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter at the premiere of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Kevin Feige commented on James Gunn's ascension to the head of DC Studios. Unsurprisingly, the MCU czar had nothing but kind things to say about Gunn's promotion, and he insisted he's still working closely with Gunn on the MCU.
We have a wonderful thing called the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special coming out. We have a wonderful thing called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming out in May.
Feige also voiced some lighthearted concern about Gunn's scheduling.
How will he have any time to work on DC until May, I don't know. But once he does have the time, I'll be very excited and first in line.
Feige and Gunn insist that there is no rivalry between the two studios, and the two seem to be as friendly as they ever were. But that hasn't stopped fans on social media from pitting the two studio heads against each other. One Twitter user wrote, "Kevin Feige accidentally creating his own arch-nemesis is such a beautiful comic book arc." Others commended Feige on his professionalism in praising Gunn, with one tweeting, "Kevin Feige might be one of my favorite people ever. It's so wholesome to see him unconditionally be a Marvel Studios alum's #1 fan, even if it's for a rival studio." That being said, Gunn's relationship with Disney wasn't always as peachy as it is now. Back in 2018, the company fired Gunn for some old offensive tweets that were dug up by conservatives angered by Gunn's opposition to Donald Trump. The social media posts were dug up by conservative media outlet The Daily Caller in response to Gunn's outspoken criticism of the then president. The tweets in question were posted in 2008 and 2009. Alan Horn, chair of Walt Disney Studios at the time, said, "The offensive attitudes and statements discovered on James' Twitter feed are indefensible and inconsistent with our studio's values, and we have severed our business relationship with him." It's worth noting that in a 2021 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Gunn said that Horn's decision was as much of a shock to Kevin Feige as it was to anybody else. In a now deleted tweet, Gunn responded that, in the early days of his career, he thought of himself as a provocateur, often telling jokes that were outrageous and taboo. He also claimed to have grown as a person since making those jokes. According to Deadline, the public apology that Gunn made and his contrite attitude throughout the whole process led to Marvel rehiring Gunn. Horn met with Gunn on several occasions to discuss the incident and seemed to think that the director was truly sorry for his tweets. Evidently, Gunn seems to have won fans' trust over the years too, and most people seem to be perfectly happy with his new position. What his promotion means for the DCU, however, remains to be seen.